6 of the biggest names in outdoor gear answer to a few conglomerates, many logos, mall fashion sold as mountaineering. The North Face puts a Summit logo on a jacket that never sees a summit. You paid for the patch, not the down. 6 brands to stop, 3 to trust. You own a piece of this, a logo jacket you wear to the grocery store, sold to you on the promise of a mountain you will never climb. That is the game in one sentence. Warmth is a number. Waterproofing is a spec. The logo is neither. So let us read the numbers, one brand at a time. Number 1, the North Face. Let me credit the roots first because they were real. The North Face started in 1968, outfitting actual climbers and expeditions, and for decades, that summit-shaped logo meant something on a real mountain. I respect where it came from, but look at where it sits now. The North Face is owned by VF Corporation, the same conglomerate that owns Timberland, Vans, Dickies, Smartwool, Icebreaker, and JanSport. One corporation, a closet full of logos, and the bulk of what the North Face sells in 2026 is not expedition gear. It is lifestyle fashion, the Nuptse puffer on a city sidewalk, the logo hoodie, the fleece that never leaves a coffee shop. Here is the spec reality underneath. The fashion lines run mid-tier down and proprietary membranes, not the top-end technical builds the brand's reputation was made on. You can pay $200, $300, $400 for a jacket priced on a mountaineering legacy. Meanwhile, the membrane and the fill inside it are middle of the road. The Summit logo does the heavy lifting. The construction quietly coasts on a name earned in 1968. To be fair, the North Face still makes genuine technical pieces in its Summit series. That gear is real. But that is not what most people are buying off the wall, and it is not what the brand sells on volume. Most buyers are paying an expedition price for a coffee shop jacket. The label is never the jacket. You bought the patch on the chest, not the down in the baffles. And VF, the parent behind it, bled close to $1 billion in a single recent year. The logo is being squeezed harder than ever to perform. A Nuptse puffer runs around $330. The mid-fill version on a city sidewalk at an expedition price. Your father's mountain parka was built to summit a mountain. The one on the rack today was built to be photographed in a parking lot. Same logo, a different mission entirely. The next one charges the most for the least technical reason of all. Number 2, Canada Goose. Here is the blunt verdict, and I will not soften it. You are paying for the arm patch, and almost nothing else justifies the price. A Canada Goose parka runs $800, $1,000, $1,200, and beyond. And yes, it is a warm coat. A real Canada Goose parka with quality down will keep you warm in a cold winter. But warmth is a number, and that number is fill power. You can buy an honest 800 fill power down parka from a technical brand for half the Canada Goose price. It will be just as warm, gram for gram, sometimes warmer. So what is the extra $500, $600, $700 buying you? The circular patch on the sleeve, the status red across a city street. That is the product. The down is the delivery vehicle. Here is the part that should land for the men watching. Canada Goose became a status symbol, and status symbols get priced on perception, not performance. A coat priced on a logo is vulnerable the moment people stop caring about the logo. Now the brand does back its coats with a warranty, and the better parkas are well built. But well-built does not explain a 4-figure price when an honest 800 fill jacket does the same job for half. Here is the number that ends the argument. Much of Canada Goose's line is built on 625 fill power down. Good, not elite. An honest technical brand gives you 800 fill for half the money, and 800 traps more warmth per gram than 625. A real expedition parka runs $1,300 and up. You're paying 4 figures for 625 fill and a sleeve badge. A patch is not insulation. Your grandfather stayed warm with honest down and no patch. The patch is the only thing that got more expensive. The smart guy reads the fill power and the warmth to price, then watches the logo crowd pay double. The next one does not even pretend to be about the cold. Number 3, Moncler. Here is the question that exposes the entire tier. What exactly makes a down puffer cost $2,000? Because that is Moncler's neighborhood, and the answer has almost nothing to do with the down inside it. Moncler is a luxury fashion house that sells puffer jackets. The price is set by the runway, the boutique, and the designer name, not by fill power, not by membrane, not by any technical spec you could measure. A $2,000 Moncler puffer and a $400 technical down jacket use the same fundamental ingredient. Goose down, rated by Phil Power. The Moncler costs 5 times more because it is a fashion object, the same way a designer handbag costs more than a well-made bag. There is nothing wrong with wanting a luxury coat, but understand precisely what you are buying. You are buying the logo badge, the boutique experience, and the status it signals. You are paying a luxury multiplier for warmth you could get for a fraction. The down does not know it is expensive. The baffles do not perform 5 times better. You are funding the brand, the marketing, and the storefront on the expensive avenue. Moncler is honest in one sense, at least. It does not pretend to be expedition gear for a Himalayan base camp. It knows it is fashion, and it prices like fashion. The dishonesty is letting buyers believe a 4-figure puffer is somehow a technical upgrade over an honest one. It is not. It is a coat with a famous name and a runway markup. A Moncler Maya runs $1,600 to over $2,000. The down inside it is rated the same way the $400 jacket's down is rated by Phil Power. You are paying a $1,000 premium for a logo and a boutique on an expensive avenue. It is handbag logic applied to a coat. You would never pay $1,000 extra for the same down in a plain shell. The boutique is betting you will not notice it is the same down. The smart guy reads the fill, not the boutique, and keeps the difference. The next one will hurt because it earned its reputation honestly before it became a status tax. Number 4. Arc'teryx. Here is the insider truth, and I have to credit this one properly first because the pedigree is genuine. Arc'teryx was founded in 1989 in North Vancouver, and it built its reputation the hard way. Genuinely excellent GORE-TEX shells, precise construction, gear that serious alpinists actually trusted on real climbs. The Dead Bird logo meant something earned. That part is true, and I will not take it from them. But here is what happened to it. Arc'teryx is now owned by Amer Sports, which is controlled by China's Anta, a roughly 56% stake since 2019. Amer went public in early 2024. Under that ownership, Arc'teryx became something its founders never intended: a GORE-TEX status symbol. The technical shell turned into a streetwear flex, worn through cities by people who will never see a ridgeline. Manufacturing was outsourced across Asia, and the prices inflated, not because the gear got dramatically better, but because the fashion status let them climb. A beta jacket now runs $500, $600, $700 and beyond. Now, to be fair, the genuinely technical Arc'teryx shells are still very good gear. The GORE-TEX is real, the construction is still sharp. This is not a fake quality story like some on this list. The problem is the price you now pay for the fashion premium stacked on top of the function. You are paying a status tax on real gear, and a large slice of that price is the logo's cultural cachet, not the membrane spec. Amer went public at a $6.5 billion valuation in 2024. That number does not come from better seam tape. It comes from the Dead Bird becoming a streetwear flex. A beta jacket now runs $500 to $700, and a chunk of that is the meme, not the membrane. The smart guy buys the membrane, not the meme. The Dead Bird became a logo tax. The next one sells you mid-spec gear on a famous mass market name. Number 5. Columbia. Let me put this one in a direct comparison because it is the cleanest way to see the markup. Set a Columbia shell next to a genuine value technical jacket at a similar price. Columbia is a mass market brand priced on the strength of its name, and it owns Mountain Hardware and Sorel underneath it. So the conglomerate pattern repeats here too. The membranes are Columbia's own proprietary systems, like the Omni-Tech line, and here is the honest read. They are mid-spec. They work in light conditions. They are not in the same league as true GORE-TEX for sustained waterproof breathable performance, and the fill in the budget down pieces is middling. None of that would be a problem at a budget price. The problem is that Columbia prices on brand familiarity. You know the name, so you trust the rack. That recognition lets it charge a premium over the actual spec. A comparable, honest value technical brand gives you a better membrane or higher fill power for the same money, minus the household name markup. To be fair, Columbia at a real discount can be decent value. And Mountain Hardwear specifically makes some genuinely strong technical gear under the same parent. But the mainline Columbia jacket bought at full price is mid-tier performance wearing a famous logo. OmniTech is a serviceable proprietary laminate. It is not GORE-TEX, and it does not hold up the same way under sustained rain. A comparable honest value shell gives you a real membrane or a higher hydrostatic head rating for the same money. You are paying for the name you saw at the ball game. Mountain Hardwear, under the very same roof, actually builds the serious technical gear. The mainline Columbia jacket borrows that trust and charges you for the household name. The smart guy reads the membrane rating and the fill number, not the brand he saw advertised at a ball game. The next one invented the entire category and then sold its soul to a licensing deal. Number 6. Eddie Bauer. Start with the respect, because this one genuinely earned it. In 1936, Eddie Bauer invented the quilted down jacket, the first of its kind, patented in America. It was born after he nearly died of hypothermia and worked out that baffled down was the answer. That is not marketing. That is the actual origin of the down jacket you and everyone else wears. Eddie Bauer outfitted real expeditions for decades. It put the parka on the first American to summit Everest in 1963. Genuine foundational heritage. Here is the fall, and it is brutal. Eddie Bauer collapsed through bankruptcy after bankruptcy, 3 times in about 2 decades. The name is owned by Authentic Brands Group, the licensing house. The stores were run by Catalyst Brands, the very same conglomerate that owns Brooks Brothers. And in early 2026, the operator filed Chapter 11 yet again and began closing every Eddie Bauer store in North America. The e-commerce and wholesale were handed off to another licensee, so the company that invented the down jacket is now a logo for rent. No stores. An IP asset traded between holding companies. It sells mid-spec gear on the fumes of a legacy most buyers do not even know it has. The 1936 innovation was real. The 2026 product is a trademark with a bankruptcy filing attached. The man who invented warmth could not outlast the holding companies that bought his name. You will find decent pieces on the closeout rack, and bought cheap, some are fine. But paid at the heritage price the logo still reaches for, you are funding a licensing arrangement, not the expedition pedigree the name implies. The smart guy knows the difference between a company that invented something and a trademark that rents the memory of it. But the real gear never went away. It is still made with honest fill and real warranties by brands that never sold the function for the fashion. Here are 3 that earn the money. First, Patagonia. Here is the verdict up front. Patagonia is the brand that built its entire model on the opposite of everything you just heard. Start with the ownership, because it is genuinely unusual. The founder gave the company away. It is now structured so that, in his words, Earth is the only shareholder, with profits directed toward fighting the environmental crisis. That is not a marketing slogan painted over a holding company. It restructured who the company answers to, and it shows in how they treat the gear. The ironclad guarantee stands behind every product. If it fails or does not perform, they repair it, replace it, or refund it. The Worn Wear program repairs your old gear and resells it. The whole philosophy is to keep the jacket out of the landfill, not sell you a new one every season. The specs back the ethos. Real high fill power down. Genuine technical membranes on the shells. Recycled and responsibly sourced materials throughout. And the prices, while not cheap, sit below the fashion status names for genuinely better supported gear. Here's the math that matters. A Patagonia down jacket you can repair for life costs less over its lifetime than a status puffer. The company wants you to keep it 20 years. Not replace it when the logo falls out of fashion. Buy once, repair forever. That is the exact inversion of the conglomerate model up top. The down sweater runs around $280 to $330. Inside is 800 fill virgin traceable Goose down, wrapped in a shell of 100% recycled nylon. That is elite fill at a fraction of a status puffer's price, from a company that will repair it for life rather than sell you next year's version. The smart guy buys the jacket built to be kept. The label is never the jacket. And here, the label actually stands behind the jacket. The next one is the value king almost nobody in America talks about. Second, Montbell. Here is the spec shock, and it is the cleanest value story in this entire video. Montbell is a Japanese outdoor brand that makes genuinely technical gear. Its down runs high fill power, often in the 800 to 900 range and sometimes beyond. That is the warmth to weight the status brands charge a fortune for, and Montbell sells it for honest money. A Montbell down jacket with elite fill power frequently costs less than a mid-tier North Face fashion piece, a fraction of a Moncler or a Canada Goose, and it outperforms both on the only number that defines warmth. That is the whole game exposed in one brand. The reason you have maybe never heard of it is simple. Montbell does not spend on the marketing blitz and the status positioning the conglomerates pour money into. It spends on the gear. The shells use real waterproof breathable membranes. The down jackets hit fill numbers serious mountaineers respect. The construction is precise and light, the way Japanese technical gear tends to be. And the prices stay grounded because the brand competes on performance, not on a logo people pay to be seen in. This is the brand the smart guy already found, the one he quietly buys while everyone else funds an arm patch. Warmth is a number, and Montbell prints a better one for less money. The label is never the jacket, the down is. Its plasma line runs a staggering 1,000 fill power down, a number Canada Goose and Moncler do not touch. The mainstream Montbell down jackets sit in the $800 to $900 range for around $200 to $300. Elite warmth to weight, honest price, no arm patch to fund. You have never seen a Montbell billboard. That is exactly why it costs less. The money went into the down, not the campaign. The smart guy found that out years ago and never looked back. The next one backs its gear with a promise the status brands would never dare make. Third, outdoor research. Here is the insider one. Outdoor Research out of Seattle builds genuinely technical gear and stands behind it with the infinite guarantee. Be precise about what that is. It is a lifetime warranty against defects in materials and workmanship, the seams, the zippers, the membrane failing on their own. It does not cover the rips and burns you put in it or normal wear, but a lifetime defect guarantee still tells you something real. A company writes that when it trusts its own construction to outlast the years. And the gear earns the confidence. Genuinely technical shells with real waterproof breathable membranes, including GORE-TEX on the serious pieces. Properly taped seams. Real DWR finishes. Gloves, shells, and layers that serious mountain users and even military buyers rely on in conditions that punish weak gear. And the prices sit in honest territory, technical performance at a number that does not carry a fashion tax. A serious outdoor research shell or down piece runs in the low to mid-hundreds, GORE-TEX included on the technical models. The same membrane the status brands use, the same taped seams, minus the logo premium, and backed by a lifetime defect guarantee most status brands would never match. Buy it once. The build is made to last for years. And if the construction itself ever fails, they stand behind it. That is a company betting on its own seams. Think about the contrast that closes this whole video. At the top of the list, the inventor of the down jacket now rents its heritage. A luxury house charges $2,000 for a logo puffer. Down here, a Seattle company gives you a real membrane and a lifetime defect guarantee for a fair price. And it trusts its own build to earn it. That is the difference between a brand selling status and a brand selling function. The smart guy reads the membrane and the build quality. He buys the one made to still be on his back, working in 20 years. That is the whole lesson of this video, worn on one man's back. The label is never the jacket. Outdoor Research is the jacket. So here is the whole thing in one breath. Read the fill power. 800 fill traps more warmth per gram than 550 every time. Read the membrane. Real GORE-TEX beats a mid-tier proprietary laminate. And read the warranty. Lifetime and honored beats a logo and a fine print Dodge. Do that, and the status patches stop making any sense at all. A $2,000 logo puffer and a $300 800 fill jacket keep you exactly as warm. One costs 7 times more. The down does not know the difference. Only your wallet does. Warmth is a number you can read on the tag. The logo is a number you pay for nothing. I'm Bill. I read the fill, not the logo. If you missed our breakdown on the men's clothing brands robbing you blind, it's linked below at 370,000 views. And our video on the clothing built to last a lifetime covers the same pattern at 199,000 views. Subscribe. This channel reads the fill, not the label.